What's up guys, Summit back at it again with another video on the SU-57 tutorial today. We're going to be going, this will probably be, maybe like a couple 30-minute parts, maybe 3 to 4 30-minute parts. And the way I do these tutorials, if you're new to the channel, I'll try to split them up and do a bunch of 30-minute parts because making them an hour is very tiring for me, and also it's editing gets like, my computer isn't that fast for editing, so I split all these little tutorials up to like 3 to 5, maybe 30-minute parts, and I'll label them all for you, and I can probably get one out each day, but I start from the bottom for the most part, and then go all the way to the top. So it looks like, I guess we can get into it. I might, if I ever decide to make some changes, or if you guys want some like kind of upgrade or something, I can release like a post, like after all the main tutorials out, I can release like an extra thing explaining how to make some extra changes if you guys want to, if you want to build differently. But since we're starting at the bottom, this part has mostly been sealed out how I want it to be. I can't really change much here. If I was going to change anything, I might mess around with the intakes a bit, but I think they're pretty good right now. I was working on Afterburn, but let's see, I guess. So we start off on the right, in line with our little block I've placed here to give me an idea of where I'm going to be building stuff. So I guess we'll start off by going semicolon. Semicolon is our first thing. So, yep. Let's go over here. We're going to build it. Let's see how much farther I can build it actually before I hit the front. So I can build it 1, 2, 3 minus 2. So, like, I can have my thing. Yeah, I was like from 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's about there. So 1, 2, 3 to like that front part. So looks like we'll have to start right about here then. So you guys can just start in the middle. I have to do this a little bit extra just because I don't have that much room, so I need to optimize my space. That's one of the things. I have to make these things as small as possible, even though it looks so big already. This was like as small as I was getting it, so. But yeah, so we start at the bottom, semicolon, semicolon, or whatever key. Remember, semicolon is, for me, is whatever key you use to clump everything together. So you could have everything just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you want it to be really straightforward. So, but for me, I use semicolon, semicolon for, that's just basically my clip key. That's for my disconnectors, that's for my TNT and everything. So we'll start off with this right about here. And how far do we go back? We go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I can just delete these and that. So now that this is all set up, we go on the very front of it. We have a half block facing downward, and then we have 2 more going this way. We then have 1, 2, 3 half beam going back, and this is basically the very bottom of the plane. That is, I think this one's angled upwards. Actually, no, I don't think it is. I don't remember. I think this part might be angled upwards. I don't really remember at this point. I built this so long ago. But, so we have 2 half beams on each side, and then we have motors to clip together these rounded little round wedges. So they're basically this kind of like smoothing out the bottom of our plane. So we're going to go place 1, place 2. And then, let's see, so this is where things are going to get a little confusing. So on the inside of this, you're going to place a text. Make sure, one big thing for text, make sure they're all placed the right way. You want to see the text. You want to be able, if you can visibly see it, that means the hitbox is on the opposite side, here and here. So if I can see the text here, that means its only hitbox is here and here, grabbing onto the back of it. So I'm going to place one like that. And then we are also, okay, then we're going to grab a delta wing 1x1, place that delta wing on top of it, grab some more locked motors, place them upside down, pointing downwards from the back of that delta wing 1x1, and then you're going to grab a text 1x3 and place on the bottom. Make sure it's like facing upwards. Another big thing you can use, make sure you enable this build arrow. It'll really help you with text. You can see it's pointed upwards, which means the hitbox is going to be on the upward side of it. But So now what we can do is we can grab these trails. I use equals or whatever key you never press basically to turn them on, because you never want trails on for the most part when you're using them in building. So both of those go there, and then yeah, these are all disconnectors that I have set on my semicolon. So we're just gonna start. So they go all the way. Wait, we forgot to add these first. So grab our little round wedges out, extend them all the way back here, and go all the way forward. And then what we're gonna do next, so yeah, so these aren't connected to this part, these things are connected to that, so we might build it a bit later, but let's just see, make sure we got everything. Okay, I use TNT for this. Remember, if you're using this in a non-PvP server or a non-private server, you can replace every single TNT with a spring, or like add like some kind of spring system. I use TNT. I don't like to deal with springs. They're extremely annoying, like not fun. So I rarely use them, but it's up to you if you want to attempt to use them. But so it looks like we then go 1, 2, 3. And then you're gonna grab some normal blocks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this area was a little funny because I was like trying to get it to curve down to a point, but I couldn't really get it to do. So I just kind of left it like that. I think it works out. But if you want to, you can mess around with this. Like, you guys are free to. I'm just trying to keep angles at a minimum right now. So then we'll grab some more. Remember, it's all semicolon trapdoors. So whatever key you use for clipping everything together, your clip key. And then on the other side we have a block and then 2 half blocks. Block. Oh wait, is this what they want me to? Yeah, this is what they need. So the one thing I noticed was it kind of goes like from a half edge here to like flat here. If you guys don't like that, you can replace these two with this, but I needed enough room for my thrust vectors to work. So that was kind of a issue I noticed, but you kind of it was for the thrust vectors. I might mess around with it later in this tutorial or make like a post thing if I want to try to update it, but I think it works for now. So now we're gonna go to some more clip blocks, and they go from here to here. So what we're basically doing is we're clipping this text upwards, and then this text which grabs this delta wing, which clips this part upwards. So it's basically a big clip chain to bring this up 1, 2 blocks. Then after that's done, we actually have another 2 clipped blocks on top of this. Okay, and then it's this. I'm familiar with this system. So you go clip up 1, 2, and then it's like this. So make sure these are all locked motors. Place a cylinder here. Grab a text. Go to make sure it's text 1 by 2. And then place texts facing like this. And then you'll get a nice clip, nice little clippity clip grab. Also on this one, I did add 2 basic rockets for if you guys wanted to use them. This is like a basic PvP thing. I have no guns on this thing right now, but this is kind of optional. I actually joined. I'm in like a Playing Crazy military group, and I just was. I sometimes spawn my tutorials to test them out there, and I just did that as a way to like kind of gauge how their PvP capabilities. And yeah, this thing, you're not going to be hitting much unless you're going for ground targets or slower air targets, because in those things, in those kind of groups, everything's optimized. It's all like, everything's made out of minimal pieces. This thing's massive. It's made for looks, and then some things, but like thrust vectoring, but not for much else. But now we're going to go to PvP weapons. Rocket. You can grab, these are optional, so if you don't want these, just don't place either of these motors. But, or if you, I know you probably want them, but if you want to like make your own missiles, you could put a disconnector here and then make your own missile in front of it, and then clip it down under your thing. But let's see what else. So we've got our rockets. Make sure everything's on the same. Let me just do a thing check to make sure everything looks aligned right. Yep. Okay, so now we're gonna go up a bit more. Up and away. So I guess, let me think. For today, we can get this bottom. We'll try to get these intakes done. That'd be a good stopping point for today. So now we're gonna go grab some motors, They basically clip in on each side and then go back like this. So once that's done, we place a big thing of TNT on top, and also let's figure out what this sign is doing. So is it a cylinder? Yep, it's a cylinder, connects to a motor, connects to a sign. So what we're basically doing is you place a cylinder here, you're gonna place a motor here. We're basically clipping everything up more. So make sure your motor's just unlocked. Then I grabbed a sign, grabbed sign 1 by 2, and then grabbed a sign 1 by 1. And this is basically just so we can grab something here and hang on to the rest of our build. And then let me see what else we can do. So 2 ladder block, 2 ladders block, motor. So we have block. I placed 2 ladders on the side of this thing, not sure why, but I do that. And then a motor to the right, which is because we're gonna start clipping stuff inwards from this side. So now we can go to this other side and start looking at this system. So actually no, it's to the right, left, and then the right. So it clips like this and then this. Oh yikes, they're powered. We don't want powered motors here. If you have powered motors, your build will bug out. You don't want powered motors, so. But let's see what else we can do. So it's gonna be block and block on behind. Oh yikes, just place them there. So we're gonna go block. Also, I think I have all my texts erased on this thing, so if stuff starts falling apart, what I might actually what I'm gonna end up doing is doing this. This is what I do. I'll spam this around a bunch just because because for showcases I color all my signs, period. And then what ends up happening is I'll make a bunch of more changes after I do this. So I did this with the B21 tutorial, but if I notice something's falling apart, I'll go look for signs around there, and then I'll just click this on them and it'll help me find them because their signs are basically invisible. Like if you see right here, both of these ones are invisible. And they're holding a critical part up, but for now, for what I've been going over, this is basically all motor locked minimum signs, so. But yeah, so both of those go there, and then it looks like it's just happy block placing. So we go 4 from this side forward. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Grab your half block wedge downs. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Grab some more half blocks. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Grab your half block wedges. 1, 2. There we go. And then we go 1, 2. Grab your little half triangle boys, half triangle wedges, and place them like this. And then what else are we gonna do? So we're gonna go. Ooh, now we get some intense stuff. So some more motor locking. It's like Technics. It's like, you know how you have those little Technic builds, you look on the inside, there's a bunch of gears and stuff. This is what it feels like, but for me sometimes. But yeah, anchored block here, whatever key you want. Also, I mean, you don't need to make sure you started a block off the ground because you can just lift it up. But by the time you want to have it, you're going to want to have your build probably saved on the ground, so you can click this motor, angle it down, then click the arrow, move your build up, so this motor lock will clip down, and then angle the rest of your motor lock, because that's what you need to do. But you can do it whatever way. It's fine if you started off building on the ground. It doesn't really matter. I'm just used to, I started building. I probably should have started building on the ground, is what I mean, but that's fine. But yeah, we'll talk about that stuff later. I used a little camera lock trick to help me get an extra angle in the nose cone, but so yeah, whatever key you want for it anchored, then you have 2 half blocks, and now we're going into the landing gear bay. So 1, 2. So what do we have next? It's still colored pink from when I was trying to figure out how to fit my landing gear in, but you're basically gonna go sign 1 by 2, motor, clipped, clips down. Then you're gonna go half block, half wedge down. So just like this, your little 2 half wedge downs. Once that's done, we can go into this lower nose cone part. So it's just a half block. Actually, I'm gonna color this blue just to help give me a reference frame. You know, because I want to be like, okay, this is there, just to help give me a bit of a reference. I might do this with, and then I'll color this. No, I'm gonna color it this, just so I can get an idea of like what's where. Helps me make sure I keep stuff identical. But yeah, so make sure you're gonna place a little motor right here on the front of the landing gear wheel bay. Make sure it's locked. And then you go. Okay, this is where things get a little confusing, I guess. 1, 2, 3. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Grab. You can just use a half wedge 2 for this, like this. Up, and then grab a half wedge down. You're gonna place it around like this. You're gonna go half triangle wedge. And then now we're gonna go back to the intakes. So these intakes are all motor locking, so it should be fine. But let me just make sure this is all pretty identical. This goes like there. Yep. I'm gonna color one more. I'm gonna color another thing here just to get more reference frame. And then okay. I'll color that. Okay, yep, looks like we're on track pretty far. Everything looks to be pretty identical. So now we're gonna go into the mess that is the intakes. So you start off going, so this is basically me trying to make an intake and then realizing I have to add extra angles to it, but I don't have to rebuild the entire thing. So I just start adding extra like motor locking wherever I can fit it, and it ends up in this massive mess that is this, I guess, this monstrosity. So you're gonna start off with this on the right. So you're gonna place. Okay, so for these motors, you need to remember one thing is minus. So I use the 2 keys, 0 and minus. 0 activates this camera. You can also see the history. I made this on the bottom of the build a while ago, and then I slowly moved my build up to make the intakes, which was funny. But you can see that. So I use 0 minus. I click 0, it activates this camera. I hold minus until this is over here, and that tells me when to stop angling my things. It's basically like trying to get accurate angles, but using a smaller build space. So, but what you can do with this, I mean, you're gonna have to make this. I've made it a bunch, but it's just 2 cutters. Motor equals minus 0.9 thousand power torque. Block, trail. Camera, make sure it's oriented like this or this way. But and then you have some trails up here. So and these 2 cutters. But what I do is I have this angle over here. But the big thing is, you guys can build this. I basically use on each tutorial I do, but minus and equals. Equals is the key you're never gonna press. Minus is the key. Minus or whatever key you use for this must be the same as whatever key turns this one. And you must press it after you activate the camera here. So that's just an FYI, so you guys know. That's what I do for these. But it basically lets me look down and like help. And by the time this is angled here, all these other angles angled to their position. So, but let's hop up here. Let's grab this equals minus 0.4 thousand. So this is equals minus, this is minus equals. There we go. And then next, what we are gonna do is So now we have a motor lock going up and then to the. Why did I just change it to CRO? Misclick. It was a misinput. So this is locked, and then locked. Oh my gosh, so much locking. Locked. Trail 1, text 1 by 3. Text 1 by 3. It's like a memory game at this point. Like you literally just have to photo memorize this for me when I'm building these tutorials. So, okay. So locked. I think it was. If my photo memory is correct. Oh, it's the other way. Locked. Okay. And then we can copy this onto the other side. That's the one good thing about symmetric builds. Locked, and then up. up. So now that's the first part of our intake. So, and then what we do next is we go, oh gosh, this is getting confusing. So it's a half block, and then it starts a delta wing. You see this, and it goes delta wing 1x4, wing panel, delta wing 1x2. The delta wing 1x4 intersects. Okay, so, oh gosh, here we go. So we're gonna place a block which will be clipped down right about here, it looks like. Yep. And then we go wing panel 1x2, wing panel 1x2, wing panel 1x2. Then you're gonna go delta wing 1x1. This is the front of our intakes, or like the casing, the end casing of the front of our intakes would be what I put. And you have a delta wing 1x4. Actually, yeah. Wait, is this the outer part? I don't remember. I haven't built this in such a long time. This goes like this. Then you grab some half blocks, and these half blocks go on the rear inner part. So right about here is where they attach, it looks like. And they're basically just holding on to these motors that angle your stuff. So, but once you attach both of those, now things start to get a little intense, I guess. So we're gonna go both. So you start off here, you go block, half block, block, half block. So on the other side, what you do is you go control. So you're gonna start off with some control surface, 1x2s. You're just gonna grab this setting. You're gonna offset them forward a little bit on this. Wait, did I place a delta wing? Oh, I'm supposed to do a delta wing 1x2. Sorry, and it should go to the front of this. Okay, sorry guys, I misplaced. It was a misinput. Gosh, don't want to place that. And then this should stretch. So the one closest should stretch to this edge, it looks like. Yeah, the bottom one should go right under here, and then this edge should just be in front of it. So it's gonna go. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna start off by going this. Grab your equals, whatever key you're never gonna press. Go like that on top. Then grab. We're gonna use 4 delta wing 1x2s, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're basically creating a 1.5 tall delta wing 1x2. So we're gonna do this on the other side, except it's angled inwards. So what we're gonna do is what I'd recommend doing is just placing a block here, so you have something to place it off of. Go delta wing 1x2, and it's gonna angle like that. Delete your block, and then for 1, 2, and then 1. So we're going 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna be like this. You're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you're gonna go. Yep, that's control surface. So, or control surface equals control surface 1x2. And then you're gonna place this one like this. Actually, yeah. Then you're gonna grab a wing panel 1x3. You're gonna place it like this on each side. And then it's gonna be delta wing 1x2 control surface. Back to the future. Back to the future. Just place these delta wings 1x2s like this. Underneath it, another delta wing 1x2. I might cut this or I might not, depends. But then just go control surface 1x1. And now we go. There we go. So now we grab our text 1x3. You go on the bottom and you attach it like this. So now it's both gonna clip up. There we go. So now we basically have the outside of our intakes done. So now we're gonna go on the inside. And I use sand and I use this specific RGB. So 30, 33, 32. So for me, you start off with a wedge 1x2 right about here. You go 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, there we go. And then you're gonna go block, 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 and then you're gonna grab your sand half wedges down and just place them underneath your intake like this. 30, 33, 32 is the RGB I use for them. Kind of gives this nice like dark black look to them. and then sand from a little bit away kind of just makes them, I think it looks nice, but your choice, whatever material you guys want to use. But and then you're gonna grab and go back to default blocks. Also, I'll go over my paint scheme really quick. So I have normal color, my gray 178, 183, 187, the dark gray, or kind of like a bluish almost because it's RGB, has most blue, 113, 118, 124. Then I have my light, like a lighter white, which is just 255, 255, 255. And they all kind of ended up working together. But so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna grab some trapdoors. You're just gonna place them like this, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, like that. And you go 1, 2, 3 on the other side. Make sure they're all semicolons so they'll close. All right, and then you're gonna grab some motors. Motors will go like this, down 1 by 2, and down by 1 by 2. I'm gonna check what time it is. It is 9:26. Oh, looks like it's been about half an hour. Yikes, I'm getting a little tired. I think I'll end this one here for now. I'll make another one tomorrow. We've gone pretty far. I also need some extra time to review my build so far and make sure I've gotten everything right. So I need to know if next tutorial I need to make any small adjustments to it. But yeah, it looks like this has been pretty good so far. I guess we'll add this one last part. Where we go half block, half wedge down, and go motor. Grab this motor. So the one on the left minus equals 0.04. And this is basically angling this section here on the back here and takes inwards a bit. And then on the right side, it is equals minus 0.04 1000 powered lock. So just like this, and then you go text 1 by 2, and then trail on the bottom. So it's kind of fun when you're like when you're trying to build a tutorial really fast and kind of speedily making it. But let me grab another. I need another trail. That's equals. There we go. Set it up like that. Bam, bam. And I just go disconnectors. I kind of love, it's a love-hate relationship with disconnectors. They attach on each side, so they're kind of nice, but they're also kind of annoying to use. But they're pretty heavy when compared to trapdoors. Like I made that trapdoor out of the one like ultra lightweight transport I made out of disconnectors that would have like flopped on the ground and would have been stuck. But so now what I recommend doing for this, I mean not recommend, but now what you do for this one last part. So I'll have to put this in the chat, but you can just look up large black square emoji, and then it's for these ones I just use 8 on 62.99. There's more in the image when I look here, because even if you put more of them, as long as you set 62.99, it'll automatically give you 8. So but then you're gonna place another one down like this and this, and you place it up like this. Also, if you don't want it black, I actually thought of using it as white, just because I feel like it would blend in with the camo more, and then keep these parts black. But it's your choice, whatever you want to do with your build. So I'm gonna go text 1 by 1. Gosh, it won't let me plain crazy moment. Ooh, I just want to grab my little old sign, Richie, I just want to grab my sign. Nope, oh, nope, you can't grab it. You have to get it from behind. Good old Richie. Good old plain and crazy books. But there we go. That works like that. Place one back on. And whew, that's enough for today. Your intakes might fall apart right now, so if you spawn it in and this part's just flopping off, that's normal. It's supposed to do that right now. We haven't built the rest of the connections. We're just building like parts of it right now. So like I noticed a lot of you guys will be like, oh, my build keeps falling around. Like only spawn in your build, and if you only spawn in your build when I spawn in my build on my thing, and if my build falls apart and I despawn and change some things, and then mine stops falling apart and then yours still is, that means you need to like rewatch it and figure out there's misconnection there. But if you spawn in, like if you're spawning in your build and it's falling apart in the same parts mine is, or if I despawn my build and fix it, and then yours is fixed too, that means that's the only times you really should be spawning it in, because if not, you might be falling apart. Like right now, like these two parts are just gonna flop off, and you might be like, oh, my tutorial's broken. Don't worry, it's meant to do that right now. We haven't built the rest, so we'll go over that next tutorial. This is tutorial part 1 though, so. But yeah, SU-57 tutorial part 1, we've gone over the base of it. Where can I save this as? I'm using this as a thing for my new hover engine. I can save it here, I already know the tutorial, but SU-57 tutorial 1 out. I'll just do one, part 1. Then we're gonna save it. I was like, well, wait, do we already have 2,000 parts down? But no, it's because this is already over here. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember to join my Discord. I'll link it. If you have any issues with your tutorial, that after you finish the tutorial, you still feel like you're missing something, or you feel like everything's offset. Right now, you probably shouldn't have any issues because you can't really even spawn it in right now. But if you have any concerns, questions about previous tutorials and stuff, go to Tutorial Issues channel in my Discord. And then post an image of your build. I can help. I can just skim it and then give you a bit of a review. If you really want help, I recommend get an image of it like despawned, close up on where you think the problem's coming from, and then like an image of like what's happening when you spawn it, what the issue is, because there's a lot of basic inferences I can make even without seeing like the direct mechanisms. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Playing crazy IRL, progress going pretty good, making some more adjustments. Might have another progress update on that because I'm about to start applying the other stuff, and I'm gonna redo all the motors, and then I should be able to start like hook up my controller again and have it everything work well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye bye. Summit out.